The Variety Theater by F.T. Marinetti, September 29th, 1913. We have a deep distaste for the contemporary theater, verse, prose, and musical, because it oscillates stupidly between historical reconstruction, pastiche or plagiarism, and a photographic reproduction of everyday life. Petty, slow, analytic, and diluted theater that is worthy at best of the age of the oil lamp. Futurism exalts the variety theater because 1. The variety theater, born as we are from electricity, is fortunate in having no traditions, no guiding lights, no dogmas, and in being nurtured by the swift pace of contemporary events. 2. The variety theater is absolutely practical, for it proposes to distract and amuse the public with comic effects, erotic stimulation, or imaginative astonishment. 3. The authors, actors, and stage technicians of the variety theater have only one reason for existing and succeeding: incessantly to invent new means of astonishment. Whence the absolute impossibility of standing still or repeating oneself, whence the persistent competition of minds and muscles in order to break the various records of agility, speed, force, complication, and elegance. 4. The variety theater is unique today in making use of film, which enriches it with an incalculable number of visions and spectacles that couldn't otherwise be performed. Battles, riots, horse races, automobile and airplane, meets travels, transatlantic steamers, the recesses of the city, of the countryside, of the oceans and the skies. 5. The variety theater, being a profitable shop window for countless creative efforts, naturally generates what I call the futurist marvelous, a product of modern machinism. Here are some of the elements of this marvelous. 1. Powerful caricatures. 2. Abysses of the ridiculous. 3. Improbable and delightful ironies. 4. Comprehensive definitive symbols. 5. Cascades of uncontrollable humor. 6. Deep analogies between the human, animal, vegetable, and mechanical worlds. 7. Flashes of revealing cynicism. 8. Plots involving witticisms, puns, and conundrums that aerate the intelligence. 9. The entire gamut of laughter and smiles to relax one's nerves. 10. The entire gamut of stupidity, imbecility, mindlessness, and absurdity, which imperceptibly push intelligence to the edge of insanity. 11. The new productions of light, sound, noise, and language, with their mysterious and inexplicable extensions into the most unexplored regions of our sensibility. 12. A mass of current events dispatched within 2 minutes. And now let's glance at the Balkans. King Nicholas, Enver, Bey, Denef, Venizelos, belly slaps and fistfights between Serbs and Bulgarians. A chorus number, and everything vanishes. 13. Satirical educational pantomimes. 14. Caricatures of suffering and nostalgia, deeply impressed into the spectator's sensibility by means of gestures that exasperate with their spasmodic, hesitant, and weary slowness. Weighty terms made ridiculous by comic gestures, bizarre disguises, mutilated words, smirks, and pratfalls. 6. The variety theater in our time is the crucible in which the elements of a new emerging sensibility are seething. In it one can trace the ironic decomposition of all the outworn prototypes of the beautiful, the grand, the solemn, the religious, the ferocious, the seductive, and the frightful, and the abstract elaboration of the new prototype that will succeed them. The variety theater, therefore, is the synthesis of everything that humanity up till now has refined within its nervous system, in order to amuse itself by laughing at material or moral suffering. And it is the seething fusion of all the laughter and all the smiles, all the guffaws, all the contortions, all the smirks of humanity to come. The joy that will shake men in the next century, their poetry, their painting, their philosophy, the leaps of their architecture, all can be tasted in the variety theater of today. 7. Among the forms of contemporary spectacle, The variety theater is the most hygienic by virtue of the dynamism of its forms and colors. Simultaneous movements of the jugglers, ballerinas, gymnasts, colorful riding masters, spiraling cyclones of dancers spinning on the points of their feet, with its swift, overpowering dance rhythms. The variety theater forcibly drags the slowest souls out of their torpor and forces them to run and jump. 8. The variety theater is the only spectacle that makes use of audience collaboration. The public is not static like a stupid voyeur, but joins noisily in the action, singing along with songs, accompanying the orchestra, communicating with the actors by speaking up at will, or engaging in bizarre dialogues. The actors even bicker clownishly with the musicians. The variety theater uses the smoke of cigars and cigarettes to merge the atmosphere of the audience with that of the stage. And since the audience collaborates in this way with the actors' imaginations, the action develops simultaneously on the stage, in the boxes, and in the orchestra. And then it continues beyond the performance, among the battalions of fans and sugared dandies. At the stage door fighting over the starring lady, a double victory at the end, a chic dinner and bed. 9. The variety theater is a school of sincerity for males because it exalts their rapacious instincts and snatches away from woman all the veils, all the phrases, all the sighs, all the romantic sobs that mask and deform her. Instead, it throws into relief all of woman's marvelous animal qualities, her power to praise, seduce, betray, and resist. 10. The variety theater is a school of heroism that stress on winning various records for difficulty and overcoming previous efforts, which gives the stage a strong and healthy atmosphere of danger. For example, somersaults, looping, the loop on bicycles, in cars, on horseback. 11. The variety theater is a school of subtlety, complication, and cerebral synthesis because of its clowns, magicians, mind readers, brilliant calculators, character actors, imitators, and parodists, its musical jugglers and eccentric Americans, its fantastic pregnancies that give birth to unexpected objects and mechanisms. 12. The variety theater is the only school they can give advice to adolescents and talented young people, because it briefly and incisively explains the most abstruse problems and complicated political events. Example: a year ago at the Folie Bergère, 2 dancers acted out the meandering discussions between Cambon and Kitterlin Wachter on the questions of Morocco and the Congo, with a revealing symbolic dance that equaled at least 3 years of study in foreign policy. Facing the audience, their arms entwined, glued together, they kept making mutual territorial concessions, jumping back and forth to the right and to the left, never separating, both of them keeping their sight fixed on their goal, which was to become ever more entangled. They gave an unrivaled rendering of diplomacy, of extreme courtesy, skillful vacillations, ferocity, diffidence, persistence, and pettiness. In addition, the variety theater luminously explains the laws that dominate life. A. The necessity of complications and differing rhythms. B. The inevitability of lies and contradictions. Example, English danseuse with 2 faces, peaceful shepherd and terrible soldier. C. The omnipotence of a methodical willpower that modifies human powers. D. Synthesis of speed plus transformations. Example, Fragoli. 13. The variety theater systematically disparages ideal love and its romantic concessions by endlessly repeating the nostalgic languors of passion with the monotonous and automatic regularity of a daily job. It strangely mechanizes feelings. It disparages and hygienically tramples down the obsession with carnal possession, and it reduces lust to the natural function of coitus, stripping it of all mystery, depressing anxiety, anti-hygienic idealism. The variety theater instead communicates a sense of and taste for facile light and ironic loves. Cafe concert performances, given in the open air on casino terraces, offer an amusing war between the spasmodic moonlight, tormented with endless desperation, and the electric light that sparkles violently over the false jewelry, the painted flesh, the colorful petticoats, the spangles, and the blood-red color of lipstick. Naturally, it is the energetic electric white that triumphs, the soft and decadent moonlight that is defeated. The variety theater is naturally anti-academic, primitive, and ingenuous, and hence more significant for the improvised character of its experiments and the simplicity of its means. Example, the systematic tour of the stage that the chanteuses make like caged animals at the end of every refrain. 15. The variety theater is destroying the solemn, the sacred, the serious, the sublime of art with the capital A. It is helping along the futurist destruction of immortal masterpieces by plagiarizing and parodying them, by making them seem commonplace and stripping them of their solemnity, and presenting them as if they were just another turn or attraction. Hence we give our unconditional approval to the performance of Parsifal in 40 minutes, currently rehearsing at a major London music hall. 16. The variety theater is destroying all our conceptions of perspective, proportion, time, and space. Example, a little doorway and gate that are 30 centimeters in height, isolated in the middle of the stage, which eccentric American comedians open and close with solemnity as they repeatedly enter and exit it, as though they couldn't do otherwise. 17. The variety theater offers us all the records achieved until now, the greatest speed and the finest gymnastics and acrobatics of the Japanese, the greatest muscular frenzy of the Negroes, the highest example of animal intelligence, trained horses, elephants, seals, dogs, birds, the finest melodic inspiration of the Gulf of Naples and the Russian steppes, the keenest Parisian wit, the greatest competitive force of different races, wrestling and boxing, the greatest anatomical monstrosity, the greatest female beauty. 18. While contemporary theater exalts the inner life, professorial meditation, the library, the museum, monotonous crisis of conscience, stupid analysis of feelings, and in short, that filthy thing and filthy word psychology, the variety theater exalts action, heroism, life in the open air, dexterity, the authority of instinct and intuition. To psychology, it opposes what I call body madness. 19. Finally, the variety theater offers all nations that don't have a single great capital city, like Italy, a brilliant resume of Paris, considered as the unique magnetic center of luxury and ultra-refined pleasure. Futurism wants to transform the variety theater into a theater of astonishment, record-setting, and body madness. 1. Every trace of logic in variety theater performances must be destroyed, while their luxuriousness must be grotesquely exaggerated, their contrasts multiplied, and on the stage their improbable and absurd dimensions must reign supreme. Example, require the chanteuses to dye their décolletage, their arms, and especially their hair, in all the colors hitherto neglected as a means of seduction. Green hair, purple arms, blue décolletage, and orange chignon, etc. Interrupt a song and break into a revolutionary speech. Sprinkle over a romance some insults and profanity, etc. 2. Prevent any set of traditions from being established in the variety theater. Therefore, fight to abolish the stupid Parisian revues, as tedious as Greek tragedies with their compère and commère, who play the part of the ancient chorus, and their parade of political personalities and events, punctuated by witticisms, which possess a tiresome logic and connectedness. The variety theater mustn't be a more or less humorous newspaper, as it is unfortunately today. 3. Introduce surprise and the need to move among the spectators of the orchestra, the boxes, and the balcony. Some random suggestions. Spread a strong glue on some of the seats so that the male or female spectator will remain stuck to the seat and make everyone laugh. The damaged dinner jacket or toilet will be paid for at the door. Sell the same tickets to 10 people, resulting in traffic jams, bickering, and wrangling. Give free tickets to men and women who are notoriously unbalanced, irritable, or eccentric, and likely to provoke an uproar with obscene gestures, pinching women or other freakishness. Sprinkle the seats with dust that provoke itching, sneezing, etc. 4. Systematically prostitute all of classical art on the stage. For example, by performing all Greek, French, and Italian tragedies in a single evening, all highly condensed and mixed up. Put life into the works of Beethoven, Wagner, Bach, Bellini, and Chopin by inserting Neapolitan songs into them. Put on stage side by side Zacconi, Eleonora Duse, Felix Mayol, Sarah Bernhardt, and Fragoli. Perform a Beethoven symphony in reverse, starting from the last note. Condense all of Shakespeare into a single act. Ditto for all the most venerated actors. Have actors tied in sacks up to their necks recite Hugo's Hernani. Soap the floorboards of the stage to cause amusing pratfalls at the most tragic moments. 5. In every way, encourage the type of the American eccentric, the effects of exciting grotesquerie which he achieves, the frightening dynamism, the crude jokes, the acts of enormous brutality, the trick vest jackets, and the trousers as deep as a ship's hold, out of which, along with 1,000 different things, will come the great futurist hilarity that must make the face of the world young again. Because, and don't forget it, we futurists are young artillerymen on a spree, as we proclaimed in our manifesto, Let's Murder the Moonlight. Fire plus light against the moonlight, and war every evening against the aging firmaments. Great cities to blaze with electric signs. Immense face of a Negro, 30 meters high plus 150 meters high atop the building equals 180 meters. Golden eye to open, to close, to open, to close. Height 3 meters. Smoke, Manoli smoke. Manoli cigarettes. Woman in blouse, 50 meters high. Plus 120 height of the house equals 170 meters. Bust to stretch, to relax violet, blue, lilac, blue. Foam made up of electric lights in a champagne glass, 30 meters high. To sparkle, to evaporate within a shadowy mouth. Electric signs to dim, to die out, beneath a dark tenacious hand, to be reborn, to continue, to extend. Into night, the effort of the day human courage, plus madness, never to die, to stop, to fall asleep. Electric signs equal formation and dissolution of minerals, and vegetable center of the earth. Circulation of blood in the iron faces of the futurist houses, to pulse, to turn people. Joy, anger, up. Still more now, stronger yet. The moment that pessimistic, negative, sentimental, nostalgic shadows besiege the city. A brilliant reawakening of the streets. That channel, the smoky swarm of workers during the day. 2 horses, 30 meters high, to roll a golden ball with their hooves. Mona Lisa, purgative waters. Cross of tur. Elevated tur. Overhead, trombone. Whistles, ambulance sirens, and fire trucks. Transformation of the streets into splendid hallways, to guide to push logical necessity the masses toward trepidation, plus laughter, plus uproar of music hall. Folie Bergère Empire Cream Eclipse. Red, turquoise, violent tubes of mercury. Huge eel, letters of gold purple, diamond futurist defiance to the weepy nights. Defeat of the stars, warmth, enthusiasm, faith, conviction, willpower, penetration of an electric sign in the house across the street. Yellow slaps for the gouty man dozing off in bibliophile slippers. 3 mirrors watch him. The sign sinks into 3 red golden abysses to open, to close, to open, to close. Depths of 3,000 kilometers. Horror. To leave soon. Hat, stick, staircase, taximeter, pushing, zuo. Here we are, dazzle of the promenade, solemnity of the panther cockatoos, in their tropics of light music, fat and warm smell of music hall gaiety, equals tireless ventilator of the world's futurist brain.